Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally happening. Season of Discovery's next major update is here, and the developers have just officially released a ton of new information on Gnomergan, GDKPs being banned permanently, quality of life changes to every class, the PvP event and the matchmaking system for battlegrounds, new profession quest changes, new runes, and so much more. My name is Sky for the Comeback Kids. This is your Season of Discovery news. Sit down, buckle up, grab a cup of coffee. We have a lot to discuss today. Let's jump right into it today with the brand new information being revealed about the Gnomergan raid. Similar to Black Fathom Deeps, Gnomergan will be a 10-man raid with 6 bosses inside, which includes one brand new additional boss, similar to what they did in BFD. Not only that, each of the previous bosses have been redesigned and will present brand new challenges and fight mechanics as well. For example, Grubbus will now have radiation vents that will most likely deal heavy poison damage to the raid. The Crowd Pummeler boss, which has been moved to an entirely new part of the dungeon where you will fight him actually on a raised platform. And Mechgineer Thermoplug will now have brand new mechanical suits as part of his arsenal to add to the fight as well. Additionally, it has been confirmed that Gnomergan will be providing an additional world buff, which will most likely mean an additional quest to turn in at the end of the dungeon as well for each reset. The developers were even so kind enough to even show us some of the new items coming into the raid next phase. They even updated some of the previously big name items within the dungeon, such as the automatic Crowd Pummeler. Well, a couple of the items that really stick out are the Bonk Handguards, which increase your weapon skill with fist weapons and maces by 5. The Hardened Core, which has an incredible on-use effect for tanks, increasing your armor by 1,000. The new and improved automatic Crowd Pummeler, which has a major quality of life rework for being just a mere 3-minute cooldown now, and so much more. Like usual, it wouldn't be classic World of Warcraft without there also being some very fun items embedded into the raid as well. You have the Trog Transfigurator, which turns you into a Trog, the World Warper, which looks like it will teleport you somewhere random inside of Azeroth, and would seem like some really cool goggle cosmetics to collect also. Additionally, we got some fantastic news when it comes to the item sets inside of Gnomergan also. They stated that they're going to be introducing armor piece token drops, which will actually allow any player to use these tokens to spend on additional set pieces that they may be missing that are really causing a headache when they can't loot them from any of the other bosses out there. For example, on screen, we have the Power Depleted Boots token, as you can see here, which is definitely going to help you getting all your loot for that tier set bonus. Something else that was really interesting that I'm going to be curious to see is that they stated that there will be new class sets to acquire. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that refers to the 3-piece set similar to BFD drops, or if we're going to get brand new class-specific tier sets inside of Gnomergan. So that's something we're definitely going to have to wait and be patient to see the upcoming week. Additionally, it seems like the battle for GDKPs is officially at an end, and the rebellion against this RMT-encouraged way of playing an MMO is finally over. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, because GDKPs in Phase 2 are officially banned in Season of Discovery. They stated that while we understand there are some benefits for those who find this convenient way to gain gear, we recognize that there are concerns surrounding the erosion of traditional guild and social structures that are a part of Season of Discovery. Given the experimental nature of what we're doing with Season of Discovery, we want to try things without this type of transaction taking place inside of this game mode. With the launch of February 8th, we will be restricting this activity entirely, and we will have more information to share on our official channel soon, and we will be monitoring feedback closely. Boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you out there may not be happy about this, but personally, I am. It's been a long time coming for developers to stand up and do what was right for the majority population and to fight for what the essence of what an MMORPG is and what Season of Discovery really means. The journey, the social aspect, and the true heart of MMOs. Massive W for the developers out there on this one. I couldn't be happier about it. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Not only that, we also got crucial updates on the Gnomergan raid lockout because there was a lot of drama surrounding that. Blizzard actually revealed that the first 2 weeks of Season of Discovery Phase 2, the raid lockout will have a weekly lockout system, and then after the first 2 lockouts, the raid will then undergo its normal intended 3-day lockout system, just like BFD. This middle ground compromise will allow hardcore players to raid Gnomergan as soon as they can and participate in the race, while not letting the casual slow burners not lose out on more than maybe 1 or 2 lockouts at most. So as you can see on screen here, the first lockout is going to be from February 8th to the 13th, and the second lockout is going to be from February 13th to February 20th. And then every time after that, it will be a 3-day lockout. I do love the direction the developers are taking on this one because personally, I'm going to be taking as much time as I can to enjoy the leveling and the journey and finding all my runes pretty much as naturally as I possibly can and just generally trying to enjoy the game as much as I can, man. So it's going to feel great to me knowing that I won't miss maybe more than 1 lockout due to it being a hefty 5 to 7 day lockout duration. Once again, another massive win for everyone in Season of Discovery community because hardcore players get what they want and the casual player base get what they want as well. Developers, once again, on the ball with this one. Speaking of developers listening to the player base, it also seems like we're going to be getting dungeon skill books coming inside of Season of Discovery as well that will bring heavy quality of life improvements for all classes out there. That's right, because Blizzard officially announced that they will be adding these books to teach classes abilities, such as enhanced blessings for paladins, which will most likely increase the duration of their buffs to 15 or 30 minutes, totemic projection for shamans, which will move all of their current active totems to a select location, which is going to be great for setting up your totems before a fight and then engaging it onto a boss, and even an incredible one being redirect for rogue, which will most likely allow them to transfer their current combo points to a new target or somehow briefly store them for a later time period. They even emphasize that there are going to be more, and these are just a few examples, so the question is, what could be coming for all the other classes? Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't see your class up here, I would love to hear some of your opinions and thoughts on what you think would be coming for your class in this phase. I'm sure mages are going to get mage table, and warlocks are going to get, like, more convenient summons with the whole warlock summoning clause. I mean, maybe druids can get an actual revive. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section below. I would love to hear it. And speaking of big news arriving, the developers even gave us a sneak peek at a couple runes for every single class out there coming in Phase 2. I'm not going to be diving too deep into every single one and giving my opinion so much, so if you want to take a second, pause the video whenever I review them, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Starting off with the Druid, Balanced Druid looks like it's going to actually be getting Eclipse once again as a rotational effect. This is going to be great for altering your rotation between Starfire and Wrath and really mixing it up and giving you a nice critical strike big boost to all these spells, which looks like it could be fun. Feral DPS is actually going to be getting Tiger's Fury rework, which will now increase all your physical damage when you activate the spell by 15%, as well as giving you a nice instant 60 energy as well, which is going to be great for Feral Druid DPS out there. Ret Paladins are getting Sheath of Light, which will now cause damage dealt with your melee weapon to increase your spell power as well. This will also cause your critical heals to apply an additional heal over time effect on the target you heal as well. So this is going to be fantastic for their overall DPS since most of it is based off of magic damage. So that's going to be great for Ret Paladin. It also seems like Ret Paladin could be getting Guarded by the Light, which will cause your melee attacks to restore mana over time, which is going to be fantastic because they're always out of mana within about 35 to 45 seconds of the fight going on. It's going to be really, really good for Ret Paladins in Phase 2. Hunter also got a brand new melee DPS rune, which will reduce their cooldown on Raptor Strike and will now turn it into an instant attack. Then their Mongoose Bite will also have no cooldown, and Raptor Strike also has a 30% chance on each attack to not trigger its cooldown, giving Melee Hunter a huge DPS boost to their whole kit with just this rune out there. Not only that, they also get the infamous Trap Launcher, which will now allow them to shoot traps up to 40 yards away, which is going to change this class entirely for PvP as well as PvE, so a huge win for Hunters overall. Protection Warriors got Rallying Cry, which is one of the best raid-wide defensives in all of World of Warcraft, as well as Blood Surge, which will give some of your abilities a chance to make your next slam instant and cost no raid as well. Rogues will now have an area of effect damage filler with Shuriken Toss, which can now be thrown at an enemy, dealing damage to the target as well as up to 4 nearby additional targets. Also, this is going to be great for AoE damage in general for rogues, and in particular, really good for rogue tanks for keeping threat on multiple targets. In addition, they also get Master of Subtlety, which causes attacks made while stealth and for a short time after to cause additional damage. Shadow Priest got some love with Mind Spike as a brand new filler casted DPS spell, which is going to be huge for the class overall because, as we all know, rune spells in general cost little to no mana compared to your normal spells. Additionally, Mind Spike also causes a debuff, which increases the critical strike chance of your next Mind Blast, stacking up to 3 times, which can give you a nice little burst window with your Mind Blast as well. In addition, Priest Healers also got Pain Suppression as a very, very powerful defensive tool for healers, which can reduce the damage your tank or ally. So a very, very big win for them also. Warlocks probably got the short end of the stick. They got Invocation, which when you refresh your damage over time effects with less than 6 seconds remaining, instant damage will be dealt to your target, which seems kind of decent. Warlock tanks also got Dance of the Wicked, which will increase you and your pet's dodge chance anytime either of you deal a critical strike to an enemy. Both of these seemed a little bit boring, I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what you guys think about it. Arcane Mages got a huge win with Missile Barrage, which gives your spells a chance to reduce the channel duration of your arcane missiles by half, reduce its mana cost to 0, and cause missiles to fire every 0.5 seconds. In my opinion, this right here is probably going to push Arcane Mage up near the top in terms of DPS this phase, and I'm really excited to see how this spec ends up. Arcane Mage healers also got Chronostatic Preservation, which allows you to store some of your Arcane Fire and Frost energy for a later usage, which you can then activate to give a nice chunk of burst healing to a selected target, which is something the spec desperately needed. And last but not least, we have the Shaman with Maelstrom Weapon officially being revealed, which causing damage dealt with melee attacks results to a chance to reduce the cast time of your next Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Lesser Healing Wave, Chain Heal, and even Lava Burst by 20%, stacking up to 5 times. It's very important to note that they did state that Lava Burst as well can be instant cast, which is going to be very interesting for Enhancement Shaman DPS. Not only that, Two-Handed Enhancement Shaman also got some big love with a brand new rune in their chest slot with Two-Handed Mastery being implemented. This Two-Handed Mastery rune enables each time you strike an enemy with a two-handed weapon, you gain 30% attack speed with your active weapon for 10 seconds, which can be potentially insane combining that with Flurry, which is going to leave a lot of players out there really excited to try out this spec, and as an Enhancement Shaman main, I know I'm excited. Lastly, we have the Spirit of the Alpha, which is pretty much the opposite of Blessing of Salvation for Shaman, which casts a 30-minute buff on a friendly target to increase the threat generated by that specific target massively. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these aren't all the runes coming out. These are just a quick teaser, and I gotta tell you, there are a ton in there that look so much fun to play. If you all want to check this out, you can actually see it live on the Season of Discovery Talent Calculator right now. I mean, we are going to be doing a deep dive once again, me and Lance, once we get all the information on the rest of the runes, so look out for that video as well. But other than that, let's continue with the reveals. For you PvP lovers out there, we got all the details on what the new PvP event is going to be inside of Phase 2. Blizzard officially announced that they are introducing the brand new Blood Moon PvP event inside of Strangle Thorn Vale. They stated that the Blood Moon event will shine above the zone, casting an eerie red fog over everything. They listened to player feedback, and they built upon what they learned from Ashenvale PvP inside of Phase 1. They actually created this event to occur on a more predictable timetable so that players can plan for when they're able to take part of the event, which is really good news. They state it's going to occur every 3 hours, and it's going to be a duration of about 30 minutes, and during this event, killing players will allow you to earn a special currency, which can then be traded for various rewards at a brand new vendor. They also stated that it is a complete free-for-all PvP event, and it is factionless. They did state, however, that you can still group up with your allies and friends for the event, but you will get reduced rewards and will punish those inside of raid groups. I'm not really sure what exactly that means. I'm personally hoping that it's not just going to be a bunch of people running around in a group of 40, just a big Zerg killing solo players in small groups, because honestly, I don't think that would be too much fun for players that don't have a guild or too many people to play with. So hopefully they do make an announcement on that soon. And for those of you who would rather not participate in the event, you can actually just opt out of it entirely by speaking to a Zandalari emissary. This will then opt you out of getting any of the rewards and exclude you from the event overall. They also stated that, unlike the Ashenvale PvP event, there will not be any PvP objectives in Strangle Thorn's event. Something that was very interesting to me is that they stated that you need to keep a sharp eye out for the chosen of the Blood Loa, who is more than a force to be reckoned with and will kill all in their path. So maybe this is a patrolling group of enemies in the zone that give a nice chunk of tokens that you kind of have to compete against other players to sort of engage in combat. I mean, who knows? Hopefully that is what's coming, though. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, when you go to turn in your currency, you actually will be seeking out the merchant outside of the Gurabashi Arena. Something really interesting to note here is that players will be able to earn brand new class-specific items as rewards, which is something I could not be more excited for. For example, we got this epic ring for mages that increase your damage done by fire spells by 16, which is incredible. And you even got the Sanguine Skull Crusher for warriors. That is a very, very strong one-handed mace that gives you 10 strength and 6 agility. I mean, what better way to show some class pride other than getting class-exclusive PvP rewards for Season of Discovery? I mean, man, I'm so excited to check these out in the upcoming future to see all the new class-specific armor and weapons. It's going to be really, really cool to check out. Not only that, they also introduced 2 brand new faction-agnostic mounts that you will be able to acquire by participating in the event as well. You got a nice little blonde saber-tooth looking mount and a bright red bloody raptor as well. These are going to be really, really fun to grind out and work toward, and most likely only the hardcore really, really tough PvPers are going to have both. I'm going to try to go for it myself. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we got a free-for-all PvP event, class-specific rewards, a new reputation to farm, mount rewards. I mean, this is everything we could have ever wanted for a PvP event inside of Season of Discovery, and I am very, very excited for this. The only thing I'm concerned about is the players running around maybe in like a giant raid group just zerging, killing a bunch of small groups, or even solo players out there. I'm really interested to see the sort of countermeasures they might have to try to put a stop to something like that. We're going to have to find out in the near future, and it's most likely going to be a big topic very, very soon that we're probably going to ask about in our upcoming interview with Agrin and Nora in the next few days, so definitely be ready for that one. Cap it off for PvP, the developers even took to addressing matchmaking inside of Battlegrounds as well. They stated that they understand it could be frustrating for solo players to match against pre-mades, and to address this, they are implementing 2 changes. Players in groups of 5 or fewer have a higher chance to match against groups of 5 or fewer. Likewise, if you're in a group of 6 or more, you will have a higher chance to match with groups of 6 or more. To account for the potential to create longer queue times, this system will ignore these rules after a period of time should they start seeing these queues become impacted. So not only do we get an incredible brand new PvP-based event, we also saw great changes that will hopefully help us out when it comes to grinding our battleground reputation and looking for some quick games of fun with this brand new PvP matchmaking system. And if PvP doesn't exactly get you riled up, what about professions and crafting? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually getting even more progression for all of our characters when it comes to professions. The developers actually stated that the positive reception to professions in Phase 1 was massive, and they're building and expanding on it significantly for Phase 2. We will now actually be able to discover 20 brand new recipes across all non-gathering professions, which includes recipes for alchemy, enchanting, engineering, leatherworking, tailoring, and blacksmithing. They state clearly that professions will cap at 225 skill in Phase 2, but profession specializations will not be opened up inside of Phase 2 and will be later activated inside of Phase 3. So things like armorsmith, goblin engineering, tribal leatherworking, stuff like that will not be available for the next few months. Though Blizzard is stating that they're planning something special for them at that time, which is definitely going to be interesting to see in the next couple months. Similar to Phase 1, players will be able to undertake an epic quest chain to unlock access, but no spoilers are going to be revealed here. They wanted to kind of hold off on that one, which is understandable. And as you can see on screen here, leatherworking getting an epic helmet with improved hit chance and an on-use effect which causes you to remove all poison effects and gain immunity to all nature damage, which will probably be really good inside of Gnomergan. Tailoring, which will give you a headpiece as well as increase your damage and healing done by 22, some nice mana per 5, as well as an on-use effect that reduces the mana cost of all your spells by 50% and increases damage and healing done by 50 for 12 seconds, which is going to be massive for all casters inside of the game, and is most likely going to be a must-have for any sort of content out there. We got one of the blacksmithing epics. It's going to be out there for Holy Paladins, which will increase their damage and healing done by magical spells and effects by 21, and give you an on-use effect which will prevent silence, interrupt, and pushback effects. And they also revealed that alchemists and enchanters will find a couple new recipes which can bring more utility through their gameplay, rather than them just creating stuff to make some gold. Enchanters will now be able to conjure Sigils of Innovation, which has an on-use effect to empower you to deal up to 20 increased damage and healing with spells, and increase your attack power by 20 as well for 30 minutes. Think of it almost like a scroll to increase your stats that you would find out in the world. Not only that, Alchemy is actually going to get a potion that restores some of your health and mana. It will increase your attack power by 40 and damage done by spells by 35 for 15 seconds. Now, I do think that these bonuses for 15 seconds are quite low compared to enchanting having it, like, for 30 minutes. So hopefully this is something they tune up and increase drastically to sort of balance it all out. Overall, not only are these professions getting some awesome quest lines to receive epic gear, there are roughly going to be about 20 brand new recipes being introduced, which are most likely going to be tied to your waylaid supply reputation vendor, so you better get to it and grinding out that reputation. I know I'm a little bit behind, so I'm going to be focusing on that the next couple days as well. The dev team also wanted to heavily emphasize that it's not too late to start playing Season of Discovery if you haven't played already, or if you just simply want a friend to join you on your journey. They stated that experience gain in Season of Discovery in Phase 2 is going to be increased by 50% up to level 25, and there might actually be potentially an XP world buff for completing Black Fathom Deeps as well. They revealed also that there might be new ways to level, including some unclear mentions about an XP gain world buff that only works up to level 39, and also reminding players that BFD will keep its normal 3-day lockout. Something else they touched on was that the Waylaid Supply quest completion experience will be significantly increased when you turn it into a supply officer, and they did say that they will announce more details on that very soon. So whether you want to get some additional alternate characters boosted up and running, or just simply bring some friends to come and play with you, Season of Discovery is definitely going to be very streamlined to get players caught up to play Phase 2, which is really, really cool. Lastly, for the updates, they actually wanted to bring us some new information about how the team is combating bots and exploitative accounts inside of Season of Discovery Phase 2 as well. They actually are currently in limited testing on live servers, and the early results for this brand new system are very, very positive. They state that botting is something they really do not like, and it's something they actually hate and spend a lot of time and effort trying to fight. They wrap it up by quickly stating that they're just doing the best that they can, and they aren't assuring us it's going away completely, but just that this new system is going to be active soon, and things are looking up when it comes to a botting perspective. But man, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, my mind has been absolutely blown. It is 3:30 in the morning right now, currently, as I'm making this video to get this prepped out for you guys. And I am so wired up and excited for what's to come for Season of Discovery. All this new information really has me freaked out. I don't even know what to do. You guys gotta let me know what you're most excited for in this video so far. I mean, personally, for me, it's got to be the PvP, and where we can get some class-exclusive rewards and items. And I mean, come on, a free-for-all PvP event? That sounds freaking epic. I am so excited for Phase 2, and the developers, once again, exceeded all my expectations and truly, truly knocked this thing out of the park so far. The long wait for news, ladies and gentlemen, is finally over. Season of Discovery is back. Don't forget, the Comeback Kids also have that developer interview with Agrind and Nora very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that, because that is going to be a huge video drop. We will be doing a community section on our next video based on all of your comments here. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, leave a comment below for me to respond to it live here on these news videos. Have a little bit of discussion point and talk about it. I would love to see your opinions on some of the topics. So please, if you want your voice to be heard about anything and all that's just been revealed, let me know about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. They absolutely flooded with Season of Discovery content. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Trust me, it's an absolute pleasure to be making content for you all. My name's Sky from the Comeback Kids. Till the very end, we'll see you next one. Peace.